You see headlines about Alaskan drilling and you think it's just politics. For our native northern people up there, it's about whether their relatives and their food system survive. Right now, the federal government has approved the massive Willow project in the National Petroleum Reserve, Alaska, and is moving to reopen most of that reserve, plus the Arctic coastal refuge plain to new oil and gas drilling. Projects like Willow cut roads and paths through caribou habitat, disturb polar bear dens, and raise the risk of oil spills that are almost impossible to clean up in ice and permafrost. The Gwich'in people call the Arctic coastal refuge plain the sacred place where life begins, because it's where the porcupine caribou calve, and they've said that drilling there is a human rights issue, not just an environmental one. But at the same time, Alaska is a resource-dependent state, where a lot of families depend on this oil and gas drilling for jobs and to boost their economy. That's the tension that Mary Pitola walks into as the first Alaskan Native elected into Congress. She's a Yupik leader who runs on fish, family, and freedom. But she also backs some pro-development votes because she knows how fragile life is in rural Alaska. She pushes hard to protect salmon and subsistence, and she talks about balancing development with the health of rivers, caribou, and the ocean that her people depend on. When I look into all of this, it reminds me or makes me think of the split in Indian country when it comes to tradition or evolving. Some native communities, especially like the Lakota, my wife's tribe, put protecting Mother Earth first and want absolutely nothing to do with oil and gas in their homelands. I come from an oil tribe, MHA Nation in western North Dakota, where this type of development has brought housing, jobs, and revenue into our communities. And I've seen up close that there can be real material benefits, but they have to be done with at least some guardrails. But I've also seen when these big companies come in and the federal government come in, when they come in with that mindset of it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission. And that leaves native people to live with the spills, the flares, and the boom and bust cycles. So for me, I sit in the middle because I can see both sides. I believe tribal nations have the right to say yes to development, but also to say no. And in this case, when we're speaking about Alaska, it comes down to the caribou, the polar bears, and the subsistence that the Alaskan Natives people depend on has to be a non-negotiable, not an afterthought. At the end of the day, the real question isn't, are you for or are you against drilling? The real question is, who carries the risk, who gets to decide, and what's left when the boom is over, and what's the impact that it has when it's all said and done. Like the video, follow the page, have a great day.